he was going around for the Census Bureau, or what he was doing, not only does your cell phone have the IHS password transponder, which transponds to the IHS module when you zip over it, it has a GPS thing in it. Password transponder transponds back when it's pinged as you zip over the IHS. This guy in Kentucky was working for Census, making part-time money. He was going around on front doors, and he was GPSing the front doors. He was getting a GPS coordinate for every front door, and he came through here doing it. One guy came through here, came up to your house without permission, walks up on your front door, stands there, looks at the reading and writes it down or punches it in to your address. He matches the address physically, and now they know exactly where your GPS coordinates is down to, if they use 8 digits, an 8-digit longitude or latitude-longitude coordinate, they can put a cruise missile right through the front door of your house with that information. So that's what happened, and somebody out in Kentucky found this guy, and I guess they strung him up. Now, that wasn't right, of course. It was just a poor American guy being used by the New World Order to get your house coordinates, and it cost him his life. It's really a terrible thing to happen to anybody, but he didn't know what he was doing, and he ran into somebody who didn't know what he was doing, and somebody strung him up. I'm assuming that's what happened. So I now have here in front of me, I've got a picture, and the American Freedom Fighters for America has posted it on their website. They have a picture here of a chopper, which is a CH-54, who's just dropped off a whole bunch of Marines on an Afghan hillside. And you'll notice there's about 5 of these guys. They're all kneeling down on their right knee, and they've got the weapon across their left knee, which is up in the air, and they're holding it all in the same fashion. You'll notice that all but one of them have on green camo uniforms, woodland camo, in the desert. And you can see the sand picture. The sand is just the same color as sand. And there's one guy right in the middle who's got a Kevlar helmet, but his has desert camo. And the desert camo matches the sand where he's standing, and you can see that. You can see that. But the other guys stand out like sore thumbs. Now, I took that picture today. By the way, we sent about 30,000 Marines into the desert with green uniforms, with green biochemical uniforms. Now, all we'd have had to done, folks, was give them a can of spray paint, Rust-Oleum beige paint, and they could have sprayed their uniforms, touched them all up with the tan or the beige paint, and they would have blended in. But our guys go out in the desert. And I showed that thing to 5 men today and one retired colonel. I said, what's wrong with this picture? And none of them knew. I had to coach them. But believe it or not, I showed it to 2 women, and both of them immediately picked out, look, that guy all them other guys stand out. I don't know why it is, but the 2 women picked it out immediately. I don't know how, what it was that let them see it, but the men didn't see it. They're looking for something technical, really technical on the picture. But the women just looked at the uniforms. And so this is the problem we have. Now, our friend Bush, Clinton and Bush sent our guys into the desert. Well, I should say George Bush did. In the Desert Storm, they had a lot of sand camo uniforms. But this conflict, they didn't. Operation Iraqi Freedom. They can spend $3 trillion to bail the banks out. They can't spend $140, which will buy 2 camouflage uniforms for these guys. Now, I bought a couple of them in the clothing sales store. The pants are $36. The shirts are $34. That's $70 per uniform. 2 uniforms is all you need. You need 2 uniforms, one to wash and one to wear. They couldn't spend $140 for our boys and girls, or our boys in this case, to be out in the desert. But they could bail out $3 trillion worth of banks with your tax dollars. You see, folks, they don't plan on winning this war. We've talked about this many times on this program, of the terrible glitches that's going on over there, and they're not supposed to win this war. And you certainly can't send a guy out in the desert in a green uniform to win the war. If you want to have a little break here, 30-second or whatever, go ahead, Chris. You there, Chris?
No, go ahead, Al.
Okay. Need to keep on going?
Yeah.
Okay. Fine.
About 4 minutes.
This is a situation that we have in the desert over there. And that picture is posted on the website for Freedom Fighters for America. You can see it. We need to make as much hay out of it as we can because they do not intend for our guys to win this war. The purpose of 911 was to get our guys sent overseas. And the foreign troops are here. Now, I just had a chopper go over my house, and I've known for 15 years that they're going to be here. We know where they're operating from. We've seen them operate. The Al Cuppett website that Davis Motion Pictures is alcuppett.com. You can see on there some of the letters I have written. Hopefully we'll get some more stuff on it before too long. You can see what they're doing. Got these guys here. They are in our midst right now. Indeed, they walk among us. They are a very pernicious threat. We've talked about it. And we had this incident in Hardin, Montana, if you recall. In Hardin, Montana, I'll run you down on that. A couple of 3 weeks ago, there has been built 2 years ago in 2007. There was a jail built out there for $27 million. It was empty, and I'm talking about a jail with a big fence around it. I mean, a stockade. It was built, and nobody was working it. It was just built. FEMA built it. Halliburton built it, and Wackenhut built them for Clinton, and Halliburton built them for Bush. It was sitting there, and they had, if you know, the president has said he's going to put a security force in the country. Well, the plan calls for, the 1952 plan calls for internal security forces in our country, but they're not Americans. And I covered this on Straight from the Joint Chiefs. That video is available from the Prophecy Club. I think they're still in business. If not, you want one, I can figure out how to get it and tell you how to do it. But I'm out of books right now, and I'm out of videos, and they're not free anymore if you get one. The people that have them, I don't have them anymore. Someone else has to provide them. But this is a situation, and these guys are here. They're in our midst. And what happened at Hardin, the founding fathers out there, the city fathers, decided that they probably couldn't pay the sheriff any longer, so they're going to bring in a private police force. They heard about this, either Cops on the Street, Project Harmony, Stimulus Cops, or Community Police. And so next thing you know, these cops start showing up in Mercedes SUVs. They show up, and they got hardened police on them. I've got a picture of one of them. I've got a picture, not a really good picture, but I've got a picture of these squad cars, and it says Hardened Police Force on it. It's got a Soviet and or a Serbian coat of arms, and they came into town out there, and Alex Jones went up there and raised Cain with his bullhorn. And I made a lot of phone calls, and I'm sure other people did also. The phones were flooded out there. They wouldn't answer their phones anymore. And when they found out, when the New World Order found out that it wasn't going to go so easy, they pulled in this guy named Hilton. They said, oh, there's a guy named Hilton that's trying to run that operation. This was their cover story. Hilton's coming up here and trying to take over the jail. Well, the jail also has space in it for a police department, okay, inside of it. New World Order's trying to get rid of the sheriffs. They can't stand elected sheriffs. So they moved into Hardin. This is the first go-around. They had stated that they were going to be 30 cities they were going to do this in. And apparently they have now backed down because they're answering the phones out there now. And it appears like their cover story of this guy, an ex-convict trying to take over the jail. Wait a minute, folks. Think about it. Where did he get the money? Where does he get the money to buy 12 Mercedes SUVs? Where did he get the money to pay 12 police officers, to equip 12 police officers? Where did the money come from? Oh, it came from FEMA. It came from Homeland Security. I've been telling you for years that Homeland Security has a black budget. Actually, FEMA has a black budget. Now it's Homeland Security. They have a black budget, and they're running the show. And this is where these these guys came from.